Welcome to our Trenton Rotary Club afternoon meeting, and we're here to listen to the mayor today. We're so excited for everyone that's here. I want to just introduce myself. My name is Kimberly Mott. I am the president of this beautiful club this year. I'm very honored to have that. I'm also the salon owner of Colors by Kim, so yes, they do let hairdressers do big things, so I'm really happy about that. It's an honor to stand before you today, and I am privileged to welcome each and every one of you. And our normal protocol is to start each meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. And so if Rob, could you please lead us in that today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball.
Yay! Thank you, Rob. And we also, each week, we do start our meetings with a prayer. And so if Sherry Gramlich, would you please say our prayer for us today?
Yes. Thank you so much. Father, we are here today to celebrate great success in our city. In a world full of chaos, we are embracing a moment of triumph in your name and for your glory. Father, our hearts are the very center of our humanity and in the work that we do on a daily basis. In extreme emotion, this indescribable feeling is clear. We are aware that we could not see this great success come to fruition without the individual purpose you have poured into each leader within this room and in our great community. Thank you for that and for bringing us here together today. We ask you, Lord, to guard our hearts from pride and selfish gain. Let it fuel our faith in you as our provider and our sustainer. May all glory for our achievements go up to you today and always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Before we begin, I want to extend our deepest gratitude from the Trenton Rotary Club to all the community members, local businesses, and civic leaders who have dedicated their time and efforts to make our city a better place. Your commitment is a blessing to the citizens and the businesses in our community. Thank you so much. A special thank you to Mayor Rizeppa. He'll be coming up here in a few minutes, but for his cooperation with the Trenton Rotary as well as the TBA to bring these updates to our community. Before Mayor Rizeppa does come up, we are running this like a regular Rotary meeting today, so we just have a couple of announcements. Trust me, I kept it pretty short, so y'all, I know there's lots of stuff to listen to in a few minutes. So we would like to first thank our sponsor, Turago, for this very event today. They're the ones that brought our food for us. They're actually the ones that do our delicious food every single Monday afternoon, and we just want to thank them for their sponsorship for this event. I also want to take a moment to speak of the positive impact Rotary continues to make in our local and global communities, whether it's through our ongoing projects, youth initiatives, or the bonds of fellowship we share. Each Rotary member contributes to a legacy of positive change. If you would like to be a part of this change, know that we have afternoon meetings here every Monday at noon, and we also have an evening group that meets every second and fourth Monday at 6:01 p.m. at Sibley Gardens, and we would love to work alongside of you. Please come join us. And I'd like to have Bruce White please come up, and he's going to talk to you about a special project if you haven't heard about it. It's our Walmart project.
Thank you very much. I'm Bruce White. I was on the school board for what felt like 100 years, and professionally was in heavy construction for another 50 years at least. And after retirement, I came into Rotary. I was asked to come in. I had volunteered before. There's always sorts of opportunities, and Rotary is a very unique organization. It's about helping and helping with problems both locally and internationally. Locally, it can be as something is planting trees. Internationally, it can be building hospitals. It can be missions with doctors and dentists going in places of almost nothing and helping people. Water wells, where we take water for granted, they have none. And we fund and help support water wells all over the world. It is just amazing what Rotary does. I encourage anyone that can to just come in and get your fingers wet. Try helping out a little bit, because it is really worldwide. We have many opportunities for help and leadership. Ronnie is our evil queen of chocolate, and Paulette Dillingham is a beast of networking. I'm going to put it that way. A couple years ago, she brought us an opportunity with Walmart Woodhaven on a pilot project to take their overstock and returns and distribute that to charities in areas of much less. People who can't afford such things. The commitment for us was every Thursday we have to pick it up. They don't have warehousing to keep it. This is to keep stuff out of the dumpsters. But it's all new. It's new clothes. We had probably 120 bikes last year that just needed minor tweaks to go to kids that couldn't afford bikes. The small, the little three-wheel girly bikes they're so pink and frilly and everything else. They gave us dozens of those, and they went to girls who their families couldn't afford a bike. We do this every Thursday. We've successfully done it for the last 2 years. Every Thursday we pick up almost 2 truckloads of this. We stock it at Safe Spot. Thank you to Safe Spot for giving us a ground a landing place for this. And every month we open up all the boxes, 1,000 boxes that Walmart gives us. Everything from brand new kids' shoes to brand new underwear, brand new clothes of all sorts. We have furniture. We have just everything under the sun. They give us things that you just wouldn't believe. And we meet once a month with the charities and distribute it all. And it has been beyond successful. It is helping, it's rubber meeting the road, helping people who have little and giving them, new things for their kids in their households. Pet foods go to they donate tons of pet foods. Those go to the local shelters and help them out. It's a blessing and a success. And if anyone would like to get involved in helping with that, it would be greatly appreciated. Awesome. And yes, thank you so very much for your support. Well done.
Thank you, Bruce. You're doing a wonderful job, really. All right, and we would like Gloria Jabro to come up here and talk about our Shamrock Shenanigans, which is our #1 fundraiser, which allows us to put a lot of money back into the community and to the globe, really.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I did not know this was a part of the proposition when they said, do you want to be the chairperson? So here I am with a microphone in my hand. And I'm here to tell you that I'm a proud member of the Trenton Rotary. I've only been a member for 2 years. I kind of dove in with both feet, and I'm pleased that I was able to do that. The Shamrock Shenanigans, which is our big fundraising event for the year, is on March 9th, 2024, and it'll be at the Bentley in Wyandotte. We have a wonderful traditional Irish meal. We have great raffles, lots of things too, lots of money and some other items to raffle off. We have a lot of fun. It's going to be great music with Wisteria. If you like to sing, you like to dance, you like to groove, whatever you like to do, it'll be a fun evening. And we'd like to see any and all of you if you could come and join with us, because the more of us there are, the happier we'll all be. Tickets for the event are $65. The raffle ticket for the main raffle is $25. If you choose to buy one of each in a combination, you can buy them for $75, which is a nice savings of $15 per person. We'd love to have you. There's a flyer on your tables that talk about our sponsorships, because we are highly
push forward and can do this because of sponsorships. If anybody's interested, we have sponsorships all the way down to $100 and up to wherever you'd like to be, $2,500 if we can do it. We would absolutely love to get you all to come see us. We do have the raffle tickets here with us at the State of the City meeting today. If anybody would like to buy raffle tickets, they're $25. It's a great raffle, and everything we give away on that raffle is worth a minimum of $250. So it's a $25 investment, and you do a lot of good for all the people that we do help. So thank you very much for listening.
Great. Thank you, Gloria. Yeah, what's the big prize, though? What's the big prize in that raffle?
$2,500.
$2,500. So with a chance of a $25 ticket. Good job, Gloria. All right, we do have Janelle Felsky, if she'd like to come up. She is our president for the Trenton Business Association. Janelle? There you are.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Janelle Felsky, TBA President, and I am with Public Service Credit Union here in Trenton. Thank you again to the Rotary for inviting the TBA to participate in the State of the City program today. On behalf of our association, we also want to thank the many Rotarians who are also a member of the TBA. We appreciate the support. And because of it, we are able to help put on programs and support events that might attract businesses to Trenton. For the past 22 years, we have honored some stellar businesses in Trenton, including Drs. Jackson, Snyder, and Parker, Oakwood South Shore, Home Sweet Home, The Framery, Public Service Credit Union, Colors by Kim, Fritz Enterprises, Mr. Handyman, Savannah's, Dan's Barbershop, West Grange Pharmacy, the European Boutique, Savannah's again, the Lighthouse, Captain's Headquarters, Roundhouse Barbecue, Open Book Theater, and Business Person of the Year, John McNally, Turago, All About Grace, Kevin James Menwear, in South Valley Internal Medicine, and last year, Vintage Market Mercantile, and Love You Bunches and Bunches. Our winner this year is BBR Realty. They'd like to come out. Give that to you. Congratulations. BBR Realty is being recognized for exceptional business practice and community involvement, for bringing new business and vitality to town, as well as bringing their personal creativity and talents to Trenton. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Kim, I'll give this back to you.
Thank you, Janelle. All right, I would just like to get us prepared for Mayor Stephen. And if I could have everybody that's in the room that is an elected official for the city of Trenton, could you please stand up and be recognized? And if all our police and fire could stand up as well. And if we could have Mayor Stephen Rizeppa please come up front.
Two of them, all right. I want to be extra loud. All right. So don't worry, I'm going to put myself on a timer.
Nice suit.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing today? Good, right? So before we dive into this, first off, I want to give a big thank you to the Trenton Business Association, the Trenton Rotary Club, and certainly Turago for catering lunch today, putting all this together, and all those that had something to do with that. So if we could give them a round of applause, that'd be great. And certainly want to give a shout out to our elected officials that we have here, State Representative Jamie Churches, Councilman Nelson Perugi, Councilman Rick Benedetti, and then our clerk, Ms. Debbie Devitt, our assessor, Joni Barnett, and treasurer, Mike McCullough here as well. So they've done an incredible job of being partners and all the things I get to brag about today. So, and thank you all, certainly, for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come hear about all the good things we've been able to accomplish over the course of this past year. I've got a lot to say, so I'm going to dive right in here and want to get started with our police department, where we'll recognize our police chief, Mike Hawkins, here today, along with our deputy chief, Jeff Neese, who've taken over in May as our new police administration. So a round of applause for them too here. This year, the department can be summarized by one word: change. Driven by energy, sacrifice, and direction from the leadership there, focused on doing what is best for Trenton. They took over in May after the retirement of Chief Mike Oakley. The department was restructured to bring back a traffic bureau, enhance our operations division with additional support shifts, and subsequently reduced overtime by 13%. They instituted proactive policing efforts to enhance visibility in the community and additional enforcement, resulting in a 21% increase in activity. They've revamped the promotional process to identify the highest quality candidates and make sure that the future leaders of the department are supported. New body cameras were purchased this past June from LensLock that will increase transparency, accountability, enhance public trust, and help protect our officers, while also issuing new department handguns in June while we transition to the Glock 9mm with red dot optics. We've met our staffing challenges head on in the department, hiring 4 new officers this past year. We've also partnered with Enterprise Fleet Management System to purchase, maintain, and sell police vehicles that have resulted in savings to the city, and almost more importantly, allowing us to update our fleet much faster and making sure our officers have the tools that they need on the road. We were awarded $50,000 this past year in traffic safety grant funding to address concerns over traffic violation, and we continue to participate in Operation Stone Garden through the Department of Homeland Security to provide additional security along the border and adding over 1,300 hours of reimbursable overtime that our officers earned. We finalized our agreement this past year for a professional, full-time, consolidated 911 dispatch center with other downriver communities housed in Brownstown, and we've reinstituted an internal investigation process to ensure accountability. We've also been in the beginning process for the department receiving their MLEAC accreditation. There's been a few big cases in the news that I know folks have seen over the course of the year. Our department was able to identify a victim in a 2011 cold case homicide with unidentified human remains using genetic genealogy. Just recently, we saw our officers stop an adult abduction on Christmas morning. Certainly a much worse situation there. And detectives managed a threat complaint in September against our school students that ended with a search warrant and an arrest where the subject is still in custody today. The department's been incredibly focused on training this past year, increasing training for the department by 58% with over 4,100 hours of training completed. Every employee in the department completed training in implicit bias and duty to intervene this past November. We had Lieutenant Greeno graduate from Eastern Michigan University's class of Staff and Command, and all officers became familiar with our school buildings, completing 2 days of active threat response training over the course of the summer. 4 members of our department attended accreditation manager training through the MLEAC program, and we purchased an online vendor virtual academy for continuing unlimited training. You've seen our cops involved quite a bit in the community over the course of the year as well. They hosted their 3rd annual Shop with the Cop event with 20 Trenton students, hosted a coffee with the cop at Trenton Towers, brought back First Responders Mass at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, hosted an elder fraud awareness presentation at McDonald Financial Shred event, continued participation in the DEA drug prescription take-back, with over 42 pounds turned in for disposal, and continued the Ride to School charity event for St. Joseph School. Our fire department, led by Chief Keith Anderson and Deputy Chief Jason Martiniak, was also very busy in 2023. In total, the fire department responded to nearly 3,000 calls for service, with 82% of those being for emergency medical service and the other 18% for fire-related incidents. Firefighters worked very hard at obtaining additional skills and knowledge with advanced training opportunities. In 2023, the department began a department-wide training in RAT, or Rapid Intervention Training. While the firefighters study and practice the necessary skills for fighting fires and rescuing victims in burning structures pretty often, another critical skill that they need is the ability to rescue themselves and other firefighters who might be trapped as well. This program is a 4-day, 8-hour-a-day, very rigorous endeavor that pushes firefighters quite physically and mentally from preparing for situations where a rescuer may be trapped, lost, or entangled in a burning building. We've engaged with other local departments on the use of fireworks sales revenue from the state to pursue these training programs. This past year, the department logged just over 4,000 hours of training in total, with nearly 1,000 of those in EMS continuing education alone. The fire department also added a couple members to specialty response teams throughout the Downriver Mutual Aid Program to further our network of resources together. We have one firefighter training for drone pilot licensing with the logistics team to facilitate new drone resources that have capabilities of using FLIR or thermal imaging from above an incident. We've added one member to the Downriver Dive team to bring our total to 2 members for the team in total. To go along with those, we have a hazmat team member, a SWAT medic for the Downriver SWAT team, and both of our chiefs are part of the Fire Investigation Task Force, with Chief Anderson serving as the chief officer of that force. Deputy Chief Martiniak has also been hardworking, expanding his credentials along with his daily roles, attending fire plans examiner courses, attending the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland for management of EMS, and also obtaining an instructor level for emergency vehicle drivers training. Chief Anderson attended EMU's Executive Leadership Staff and Command School. It's a 9-month program involving many topics such as strategic planning and budgeting, leadership, and employment law. At graduation, Chief Anderson was recognized with honors for his work in research where he performed an analysis on fire station locations, particularly in Trenton, Michigan. More on that to come. And as many of you seen through newspaper articles, social media posts, and the likes, the fire department's been making a really strong push to make sure every Trenton resident has smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors for their homes. In partnership with the State Fire Marshal's Office, the Trenton firefighters offer to come by to any Trenton resident's home, install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors free of charge. Firefighters will provide some in-home fire safety tips and install the units as recommended by the National Fire Protection Agency. Any resident interested in this, please call our fire department and we can make sure that we get that facilitated. In addition to police and fire, we have our emergency management coordinator, Paul Haley, who marked in his 35th year as emergency management coordinator this past year with us. We were able to honor him this past April at our summer awards banquet for all he's done for our community. Paul has served as a member of the Trenton Public Schools Safety Council and the Riverview Community School District Safety Committee. Since 2014, he's worked on tornado drills, fire drills, lockdown drills at all 5 of our schools in Trenton, and addressed them in close collaboration with the police, school resource officers, and school officials. He provides training on threat assessment and internet tools as we strive for the best proactive efforts we possibly can. Trenton once again qualified for our emergency management program with both the State of Police and FEMA Region 5. The tabletop exercise included all city departments, Trenton Schools, Corwell Hospital, and it was again approved in July. Through Paul, the city is a member of the Coast Guard Southeastern Michigan Area Maritime Security Committee, the Wayne County Local Planning Team, and the Wayne County Hazmat Emergency Planning Team, and the 3-County Region 2 South Healthcare Coalition. A lot of things there. But we continue to test our local sirens. They've been operational since 2008, tested the first Saturday of every month at noon, and we participated in the federal-sponsored Emergency Alert System test August 11th. We had some storms over the course of the year. I'm sure some of us are still dealing with some of the fallout and different facets there, whether it be cleaning out your basements or garages. But on February 22nd, the winter storms caused power outages to over 500,000 DTE customers, and Trenton was part of that hit. About 25% of our city was impacted, and City Hall was a warming center for 3 days in response. And that in particular, I have to give Paul Haley a special shout out to, because for those near 72 hours that it was open as a warming center, Paul was there for almost every single one of them, even when he didn't need to be. But it just goes to show the testament to his work ethic and his commitment to doing everything he can for the city. So thank you to Paul for that. In addition, in August, some more severe weather. I had to activate the tornado sirens on August 24th in response to it. Intense rain, potential tornadoes, and an actual tornado that did pass just south of us. Our DPS employees did a Herculean effort to help address the debris and pickup requests, and the police, fire, an emergency management coordinator notified the county, state, and emergency organizations of our efforts and brought Wayne County Homeland Security folks to come do surveys of homes that were impacted here. Speaking of our DPS, led by our director, Mr. Kevin Sargent, had another outstanding year in 2023. The extraordinary work of the department continues to show how our employees are always willing to step up and do what they need to do to make Trenton a better place. In 2013, hired 2 new full-time employees, which brings us up to 21 newly hired or replaced employees since 2015 out of our total workforce of 30. In addition to the day-to-day operations and maintenance of all the city facilities, parks, city events, Elizabeth Park Marina, the city vehicles and equipment, baseball fields throughout the city roads, cemeteries, the department has handled, amongst other things, our water department, where they repaired 48 water main breaks and leaks over the course of the year, doing a terrific job of making these repairs in often extremely adverse conditions, but making sure that safety is a priority and that any sort of water shutoffs to homes are minimized to the maximum degree. They replaced 30 old or inoperable fire hydrants with new ones. The city is mandated to replace all lead water service lines within 20 years at a rate of 5% per year, which we were able to replace 9 lead lines throughout 2023. And the department handled over 2,000 missed-dig requests by marking our underground utilities. The Department of Public Service staff cleaned and televised over nearly 55,000 lineal feet of sewer main. This is an ongoing program undertaken by the city to be proactive in making sure our sanitary sewer systems are operating effectively. During this process, they do check the leads for residential houses as well, inspected at the point where they connect to the city. And that way, if a defect is seen, a courtesy letter can be sent to the homeowner to notify them of their potential issue and give them a bit of a heads up on or any advance warning if they might have an issue in their home to prevent any kind of basement backups or other issues. The sanitation department was super busy in 2023 after we launched our curbside recycling program in the middle of 2022. We have collected last calendar year over 1.5 million pounds of recyclable materials that have gone to the recycling facility. Since the inception of the curbside recycling program, we've reduced the amount of trash we've sent to the landfill by about 1/6. Our DPS staff, secretarial staff, has been super diligent in providing educational resources to residents, keeping things up to date on social media, and making sure folks know as much as they can about this program. They collected over 10,000 tons of rubbish in 2023 between residential, commercial trash, special pickups, and at the transfer station. An additional 2,500 tons of yard waste hauled to a composting facility. And throughout the fall, the crew spent 7 weeks picking up leaves in front of residences, which totaled almost 500,000 pounds of leaves also composted. And that also accumulated, as we've seen over the last couple weeks in particular, through this freezing cycle. Last year in 2023, our road crews deployed 875 tons of road salt, making sure that our streets were safe for us to get to and from work every day. 2023, again, super busy year for our forestry and grounds crew. Started in February with the devastating ice storm that caused widespread damage to our trees. The weight of the ice damaged more than 60 trees structurally. City forces spent more than a month cleaning up this damage, removing and trimming trees that posed additional risks. As you saw in 2022, the city made a decision to insource 75% of grass cutting across the city. With care, attention to detail, the overall appearance of our parks and public spaces is vastly improved. They cut about 2,600 acres of grass across the city for that year. Over the course of the year, 138 dead, diseased, or overgrown trees were trimmed or were removed, with an additional 357 trimmed. We've been fortunate that 2 different organizations have been interested in donating trees to the city. Both the DTE Foundation and Relief Michigan donated 20 trees that were planted at Lexington Park as part of a volunteer project with assistance from the DPS. And our DPS crews planted an additional 29 in front of homes where dead trees were removed. Because of these efforts, for the 36th year in a row, we were named a Tree City USA. We also made significant repairs to 2 baseball diamonds in the spring and prepped and lined fields for almost 120 baseball and softball games over the course of the summer. The DPS installed a new swing set at Lexington Park and installed the 18 pedestals along the bike path that you've all probably seen for the library's new Story Walk program, which we'll talk more about later too. It was really a great year for our DPS, and even in spite of any sort of supply chain issues, cost changes, staffing challenges, and all the other things to contend with, they were able to provide an excellent job to our city residents. In addition to our DPS, at our wastewater treatment plant led by our superintendent, Julie Willison, serving the residents literally 24/7, processing wastewater every single day for us, thankfully. They operate and maintain 4 remote lift stations, and last year treated a total of 1.11 billion gallons of water, including 37.17 inches of rain, which all seemingly almost fell in one day. But like many of the other departments, they have the same challenges as others. But we saw the retirement of 2 operators at our plant, but we also were able to welcome 3 new employees. The plan has continued to address the needs, including infrastructure-wise for the installation of 2 new primary pumps, 2 new blower controls, along with numerous pumps and motor repairs, and did a complete wet well clean out of the Van Horn pump station along with a pump upgrade. They've conducted and operated a complete maintenance program on our DTE main feed switchgear to help ensure reliability on our redundant power supply and continue to improve the reliability and security of our SCADA system with numerous IT upgrades. Going into 2024, we look forward to continuing our services for the city and looking to upgrade our 20 MGD retention basin and some more needed cement work. We're very proud of our employees at the treatment plant who continue to do over 90% of the upgrades and maintenance work at the plant themselves. Our building department had a very successful year led by Mr. Bill Bisland. We had quite a few new businesses open up, including the Vibe Vault, Benny's Barber Shop, Wow Gas Station, JDG Pop Property Group, New Points Nutrition, Downriver Therapy Associates, Rooms by Me, Artie's, Trenton Nails and Spa, Malik El Kebab, City Venue Event Center, Ilana's Bridal, First Brothers Print Shop, Driver's Ed, Balance Therapeutics, Mamacita's Restaurant, and the Wine Dot of Anderton Nation. We saw 5 new homes constructed in Trenton and 3 more in Gibraltar, where we had overseen their building department as well. Our department has also overseen demolitions of the ongoing DTE power plant on Jefferson, the DTE diesel-fired engines on Jefferson, the Riverside Hospital site on West Jefferson, the First Federal Bank of Michigan on 4th Street, and the tank farm at Stellantis. And we've already seen Planning Commission approvals for new businesses in 2024, including the Taco Bell building on 4th Street in Van Horn, a restaurant and bar building on West and West Jefferson, a landscaping building on Vreeland, and a 19-acre paved parking lot on Van Horn at the Stellantis site. The building department issued over 1,600 building, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical permits for property improvements and oversaw 315 residential property transfers in Trenton. Our assessing department, led by our city assessor, Ms. Joni Barnett, helped see some of the rewards from some of these improvements too. Our deputy assessor, Sydney Moya, achieved her MCAO2 level certification. Our near map GIS reviewing is increased to 15% of all properties citywide, and the goal for 2024 will be 20%. And as everyone here I know is interested in hearing about, we saw the city's SEV increase by 6.31% to $881 million, and the taxable value of properties around town increased 4.12% for just over $700 million. In 2023, we saw 284 property sales, 270 of those residential, 11 commercial, and 3 industrial. The sales increase was a 9.22% increase on residential properties, a 3.43% increase on commercial properties, and 1% on industrial. We definitely like seeing those numbers go up for our property values here. Our city clerk, Debbie Devitt, had a very successful year in her department in 2023 and a busy one ahead in 2024, where we're expecting 4 elections. Just a couple weeks from now, we'll have the presidential primary on February 27th. We'll have a special election on May 7th for Trenton Public Schools. We'll have the August 6th state primary and the November 5th general election. With the passage of Proposal 2 in 2022, voters now have the right to vote in person at an early voting site prior to Election Day. Our early voting site will be Trenton City Hall, where all qualified electors in the city have the right to mark a ballot and deposit a ballot in the tabulator beginning the second Saturday prior to the election and ending the Sunday prior to the election. For the February 27th presidential primary, early voting will be available from Saturday, February 17th through Sunday, February 25th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Voters also now have the right to select to be placed on a permanent ballot list, which means they will automatically receive a ballot by mail for every future election if they so choose. Additionally, you can receive an absentee ballot by mail and feed it through the tabulator yourself. You can do so by bringing the ballot to City Hall during any of those early voting hours and tabulate it. The clerk's office is very excited about these changes, as it will now essentially give voters 10 more days to vote in person rather just on Election Day. Our Parks and Recreation Department, led by our director, Tim Beaker, continued the momentum of 2022 right into 2023 as we open our offices to even more new and creative ideas. The senior groups have worked with our staff to make some changes here at the Westfield Center and assist us in expanding programs such as Trenton Fit and Well, social programs, and many more to encompass all of our active seniors. The Westfield Center added a small food pantry here for seniors to use as well. Trenton school-aged children have continued to take advantage of expanded swim lessons, swim clubs, skating lessons, basketball programs, tennis programs, dances, and the Halloween walk. The Kennedy Recreation Center has continued to grow, where we now have 6 high school varsity teams, 2 junior varsity teams, 35 youth teams, and 50 adult teams that play. And looks like they'll continue to be going for a long time to come. At the swimming pool at the Kennedy Aquatic Center, we saw the pool deck replaced this past spring, and we'll continue to see many more improvements over 2024. Much of this in thanks to the $1 million Spark grant we received from the state of Michigan to help make that happen. The Parks has also been planning for the future as funding for Rotary Park to be rebuilt and was secured between the DDA and the Howie Family Foundation. More to touch on there to come. And those generous contributions that will make sure that Rotary Park is a staple of our community for years to come. Lexington Park, we saw a new playscape added the year along with special needs swing. McGuagan Park was also recognized with a sign this past year, bringing a long-standing dream of some residents to life. The park will continue to see additions such as benches and some information pieces to explain the history. The Cultural Center also saw minor upgrades to the entrance with a new sitting area, and the Westfield Center has some upgraded furniture thanks to a donation from the Eileen Tinsley family. The staff of the department has been working very hard as well, with Matt Stanley finishing the playground inspector certification this year, the first time in many years that we've had someone from the city with this designation, and Sam Sonic selected as one of the 15 recreational professionals from hundreds of applicants around the state to work on a leadership development project with M-Parks. So we're very excited for the opportunities that they're going to continue to have for us in 2024 and make sure we have recreation programs for all. Over at the library, just across from the parking lot here, it's a premier downriver destination supporting Trenton residents of all ages, along with a whole host of other communities. It serves a population of over 72,000. It's open 6 days a week, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 9 to 5 on Friday and Saturday. But they're available 24/7 with free downloadable ebooks, movies, TV shows, and online databases. There's over 98,000 physical items and 115,000 downloadable items for free available. And we had over 111,000 visitors in 2023 through our 220 different programs. The library gave out free COVID tests, solar eclipse glasses, government info pamphlets, seeds, prizes, book bags, books, pencils, craft kits, and more. Your library card is a free ticket to programs, study spaces, computers, printers, Wi-Fi, music, CDs, DVDs, magazines, newspapers, and of course, books. You can even get discounts on venue tickets like state parks and zoos and concerts and things like that at our library. There's downloadable apps for ebooks, audiobooks, music, TV shows, magazines, comics, graphic novels, newspapers, and a whole host of things. They're always available through social media, emails, phone calls, walk-in, whatever it may be. Happy to help answer questions, locate resources, and get informations. Over the course of 2023, they hosted a weekly story time from kids ages 0 to 5 years old, Lego Club, a summer reading program for adults, teens, and children, teen advisory board for teens to get involved at the library, book clubs for all ages, writers groups, monthly yoga, genealogy help, a library of things, which has Stay Sharp kits for help with memory loss and dementia, board games, telescopes, instruments, coding robots, STEM kits, art tools, and more. A seed library to exchange seeds and learn how to garden, harvest, and more. Puzzle exchanges where you can take one and bring one. Other programs for all ages. Of course, our Friends of the Library group, which is a volunteer group for adults. Had 2 successful used book sales and online used book sales. We've seen the beginning of our story walk along the trail behind us here. It's a half-mile walk with story pages spaced out along the trail. So that stories can change with seasons and holidays and kids can have fun while they're walking. The library's hosted computer and cell phone classes monthly, both inside and outside the library. You can check out hotspots, Chromebooks, or laptops to use in the library. There's public computers available for printing, or to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or Wi-Fi. There's displays, monthly informative displays throughout the library with information on literature, history, local nonprofits like the Nature Conservancy, Operation Gratitude for Veterans and Wounded Warriors, the Seaway Corral, Quilters Group, Veg Michigan, National Good Neighbor Day. They had 8 visits from Trenton Public Schools and have maintained a presence at many of our local festivals and events. And of course, it's always a safe and welcoming space with comfortable seating, group work tables, has a meeting room for nonprofits, a silent study room, a children's play area, teen nook, new seating and games for kids, and even more throughout the building. So lastly, I would be remiss certainly if I didn't recognize, as I go through some of our administrative updates, our city administrator, Dean Creech here, our assistant city administrator, Miss Elizabeth Perry, and of course, Holly Nowak and Jenny Jazuski from my office, who are all frankly fundamental in making sure all these things can happen. When folks call up to my office and there's someone helpful and nice on the end of the phone, it's not me, it's Holly and Jenny, and when things are actually happening on a day-to-day basis, it's Dean and Elizabeth and the folks that I've gotten to talk about already here. What I personally think is the greatest win for Trenton by the fact that it was reelected last fall is the fact that we're able to keep this team of department heads in place for all of us and continue to do all the great work that they've been doing, leading their talented teams and helping deliver so many of these wins for Trenton every day. On the human resources front, the City of Trenton was proud to settle 4 collective bargaining agreements this past year. All of these were 3-year agreements, and each of them offers unique benefits that position the city as a preferred employer and honors our employees for the work that they've done over their time here. We've helped work to fill all the full-time openings over the course of the year, which included 12 new additions of employees in our Department of Public Works, our Police Department, Fire Department, wastewater treatment, our building department, and in the clerk's office. We also processed and onboarded over 80 new part-timers, which primarily helped to fill seasonal positions throughout the city. We worked with our healthcare committee, comprised of union and non-union personnel, and our new consultants designed multiple new healthcare insurance plans for our full-time employees. And offering multiple plans has allowed Trenton to meet the needs of a very diverse workforce with different needs amongst themselves. For some of our big projects, we've been making very good headway. DTE has submitted plans to us and have been working through the permitting and demolition process on site to make sure that that site is ready for future economically and environmentally sustainable developments. Additionally, they have submitted plans to use just under 40 acres of this site for a battery energy storage facility that would help contribute generating power to sustain our electrical grid. And this portion of the plan, which constitutes development of less than 1/3 of the site, will be an over $400 million investment from DTE into Trenton. So, very exciting stuff for us there. It shows that an extreme commitment to Trenton from DTE on their part, and we've continued discussions about development opportunities for the remainder of the acreage, and thus far, all options do remain on the table for us. DTE has agreed that barring any interference with future development options, there will be some sort of boardwalk or public access points along the riverfront sometime after cleanup completes and further development initiates. We've also been working through some of the fun administrative things like the land swaps, old property deeds, and all that with DTE that will help preserve the city's current assets and sometime down the line improve upon our recreational opportunities as well. Hopefully more information to come on those in future updates here. With a bit less substantive of updates on the former McLeod Steel site, as remediation work continues to progress. We do have a town hall in this building in just a couple weeks with Congresswoman Dingell and folks from the EPA to talk about that site, amongst others. But we've continued discussions with leadership at the company to find funding opportunities for development and chances to proactively market the site at the state, national, and international levels. Thus far, no plans have been submitted or proposed to the city, but we are always advocating for it when we are looking at some of these big projects that hit the news. Who here's driven by the Riverside Hospital site lately? Yeah. All right. So as you can see, demolition is very well underway there. That has been a long time coming, to put it lightly, but they are on third base with this one so far. Fingers crossed it should be wrapping up relatively soon. Much like the McLeod site, no firm development plans have been submitted from the property owners at all, but we are excited for the opportunities to develop what we know will frankly be one of the best pieces of available real estate on the Detroit River, with opportunities on both the riverfront and the street frontage along Jefferson. Keeping up with the theme of upgrades along the waterfront, you all are going to see some major upgrades at Rotary Park soon. I won't say it will look like a whole different park, but that might not be too terribly far off of a statement. A couple years ago, we initiated a plan and redesign for the park that we knew we needed to improve upon the boardwalk, handle shoreline restoration, do something about parking, the bathrooms, community space, and just the overall use of the park to make it a more modern and community focal point that we all know that it deserves to be. Unfortunately, these things aren't cheap, and the financing options weren't exactly making everyone jump for joy. But thanks to funding from the city's Downtown Development Authority, and I know we have our chairperson, Mark Angelotti, here, and an extraordinarily generous grant from the Howie family through the Chuck and D. Howie Foundation, we were able to make this happen. Plenty more to come on this, with more fanfare to say, but this is certainly, we're certainly going to make sure all those involved get all the recognition that they certainly deserve. But we know that this is going to make sure that Rotary Park is going to be a place that thousands and thousands of Trenton families are going to have the opportunity to enjoy for a very long time to come. So that's going to be very excited, and thank you to both those groups for that. So in addition to the Rotary Park project, our Downtown Development Authority has been really, really hard at work spearheading a lot of new projects across the district that I know many folks here have enjoyed. As evidenced by much of the growth we've seen in the past 3 to 4 years in our downtown. Things are really starting to roll, and we're excited that this year we'll be bringing on a new full-time downtown development director in the coming months to help facilitate continued growth in our downtown and working on some of the bigger economic development projects along with our friend Jim Wagner. Another exciting 2024 event to look forward to is the DDA-sponsored Art Mural Festival coming downtown this fall, late summer, early fall, where artists literally from across the world are going to be come here to paint 7 massive murals in permanent locations across our downtown that we think are really going to help add to the sense of vibrancy to the area and paying tribute to Trenton's history and identity. Either myself or members of our city council were able to attend ribbon cuttings at a whole host of new businesses this year, many of which I rattled off already, but places like the City Venue Event Space, the Farmers Markets, the River Q Pastry Expansion, Balance Therapeutics Massage, Malik El Kebab, Lobstoverfest, New Points Nutrition, Kearney Financial Services, and so many more. And as we look around here, in a bit, in many of our city buildings, and frankly even in here, there's quite a few spots where we could say that they might need a little bit of TLC. Unfortunately, there are some spots that probably need a little bit more than that. When you've got a police and fire station that's 100 years old almost, buildings might still look really cool on the outside, but then there's other spots that definitely need some work. And that's certainly not the only one. And right now, we are actually undergoing a building assessment through a contracted company to take a look at all of our buildings citywide and analyze our best next course of action. This is going to take a look not just at the mechanical aspects, but how we utilize our space and what we actually need. The size of our departments and how we operate are drastically different from what we did 20, 30, 50, or 100 years ago when some of these buildings were built. Technology has changed, how we do business has changed, and the community itself has changed. And we just want to make sure that our spaces reflect that. This assessment is going to provide us with some good short and long-term solutions that will make Trenton proud of the spaces that we have here. Above all else, in 2024, we're going to continue to offer the highest level of customer services to our residents while doing new and creative things that can bring people together, support our local businesses, and to help build and grow the sense of community that we have here that we know makes Trenton so special. Thank you to each and every one of our city employees, volunteers, and commission members. These are the people that make it all possible, whether it be our police officers, our firefighters, our DPW or wastewater employees, our code enforcement officers, our recreation staff, our clerical employees, any of our part-timers, our department heads. Our city would not be what it is today without all of them, and they certainly deserve a huge round of applause. So thank you all again for being here today, and thank you all for having me today, and for being so heavily invested in the Trenton community together. I'm really looking forward to another prosperous year that we'll have together as we all do our part to help make Trenton the best place to work, live, and play that we all know it can possibly be. I've never been more confident in the direction that we are headed as a community, and just always remember that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. So thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay.
And the Trenton Rotary would just like to take a moment to present a check to the city. We'd like to hand it to you, Mayor, for $2,000 for a tree planting project, which sounds like we really needed it this year. So hopefully in the spring and the fall, we'll see some of those trees.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you
No
so
worries for that.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You take care.
All right, guys, we're almost done here. I want to thank you, Trenton, for your ongoing support. Let us continue to celebrate our achievements, acknowledge our challenges, and stand united in our commitment to making this city the best it can be. I do like to end each meeting with a quote, and this is going to be from Franklin D. Roosevelt. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. I just want to thank you all for making the world a more beautiful place. God bless you all and have a great week.